and welcome back to Football Daily. It's still January, so we're sticking with the transfer theme and making a team of players who need to leave their club. Goalkeeper, Keylor Navas. Keylor Navas has marshalled the Real Madrid goal line for the last 5 years. With 3 back-to-back Champions League wins, the keeper might be at a loss regarding his new role as an understudy. Thanks to the arrival of Thibaut Courtois in 2018, the Costa Rican has dropped down the pecking order and is now looking for a way out the Bernabeu. This season, the 32-year-old has had to settle for Copa del Rey appearances after the ex-Chelsea keeper stole his spot between the sticks in the Liga and the Champions League. Navas has stated that he will remain at Los Blancos for as long as he can compete for the starting spot. But with just 3 league appearances this term, beyond an unfortunate injury to the Belgian, Navas has little chance of regular game time in 18-19. While his recent contract extension would suggest he's staying put in the Spanish capital, signing on with the transfer merchant Jorge Mendes says something completely different. So keep your eyes peeled for a switch this window or next. Defender Alberto Moreno. Anfield regulars probably aren't heartbroken over the news that Alberto Moreno will finally be allowed to leave Liverpool this season, after featuring for only 155 minutes so far in the league. According to Estadio Deportivo, the want-away defender has told the Reds he wants out of Merseyside by the end of January, after becoming a full-time bench warmer. The Spaniard joined Brendan Rodgers' Liverpool in 2014 from Sevilla for £12 million, but since the 15-16 campaign, he has struggled to get a run in the side, starting no more than 14 games a season in the last 3 years. Never favoured under Jurgen Klopp, the arrival and progression of Andy Robertson has put the nail into Moreno's career coffin, and we're expecting his escape out of the Premier League to come sooner rather than later. Defender Jesus Vallejo. Jesus Vallejo, who joined Real Madrid with a 6-year contract in 2015, was given Pepe's number 3 shirt last season, but he hasn't quite stepped into his shoes to complete the outfit. Having made just 7 appearances for Los Blancos since he joined, Vallejo has managed just 2 first-team starts this term, and both came in games of little importance. A Copa del Rey second-leg tie against Melilla and a meaningless Champions League group clash versus CSK Moscow. Unlucky injuries have hampered his career in Madrid, but now behind Castilla player Xavi Sanchez in Real's pecking order, Vallejo needs to leave to get some regular minutes. Still highly rated at the Bernabeu, reports are suggesting that Real would ideally let the centre-back leave on loan, to emulate his successful spell in Frankfurt. Only 22 years old, he has plenty of time to progress, but desperately needs to get some minutes under his belt, and his best would come from outside of the European champions. Defender Reece Oxford. In 2015, Reece Oxford wrote his name into West Ham's record books when he made his professional appearance at 16 years and 198 days old, the youngest player ever to start for the senior side. The game against Arsenal, where he kept tabs on Ozil with 3 tackles, 2 interceptions and 2 clearances, thrusted the teenager further into the limelight. 4 years on, and the record breaker has publicly stated that he might have to leave the London Stadium in search of more first-team opportunities. Unlike Jadon Sancho, this Londoner didn't light up the Bundesliga from the get-go, but having made 7 appearances, more than he'd ever managed in a senior side, the spell abroad was considered success for the emerging teenage talent. Now back home in England, Oxford's development under Pellegrini has come to a standstill, with the Hammers willing to consider permanent offers for their academy product, something the youngster is asking for, saying, "If West Ham aren't playing me, I need to move on." Defender Andreas Christensen. Like the majority in this lineup, Andreas Christensen is hoping for a move away from his club due to the lack of minutes on the pitch. The young prospect has started just 1 game under Maurizio Sarri this season, and with the Italian coach famously anti-rotation, the likelihood of chances for the rest of the 18-19 season are pretty slim. The 22-year-old has already been offered a very attractive ticket out of Stamford Bridge, as Barcelona made 2 formal offers for the defender. Frustratingly for Christensen, the Blues blocked a move, forcing the Blaugrana to get their emergency defensive backup in the form of Murillo instead. Last season, the versatile defender made 27 Premier League appearances, averaging 2.4 tackles interceptions per 90 minutes under Antonio Conte. But Sarri's switch to a back 4 has seen the Dane lose his starting spot, with just 90 minutes of Premier League football under his belt this season. Failing to change an ever-present narrative at the Bridge, the youngster needs to head elsewhere if he wants to progress. Midfielder Julian Weigl. This week, Borussia Dortmund sporting director Michael Zorc ended all transfer speculation when he told broadcaster ZDF that no more players will be leaving the Westfalenstadion this window, after Christian Pulisic agreed a deal with Chelsea for the summer. That would have been painful listening for German international Julian Weigl, who's reportedly been in contact with Thomas Tuchel regarding a move to PSG. The defensive midfielder has lost his regular spot in Lucien Favre's side, making just 8 starts across all competitions this term, with half of them coming in his wrong position. Forced into defence to cover the injured Manuel Akanji, Weigl put up a strong performance as centre-back versus 4th placed RB Leipzig, completing 95% of his passes, contributing 3 tackles, interceptions and 9 clearances. Impressive numbers for the out-of-position 23-year-old, but we can't help but think that Weigl will be wanting more than a bit part at BVB. Midfielder, Adrien Rabiot. Barely a week has gone by without PSG's Rabiot featuring in our very own rumour mill, Transfer Talk. And as we get closer to deadline day, the stories are still spinning, with the Frenchman clearly unhappy in Paris. The midfielder is out of contract in the summer and with just 2 Ligue 1 goals in 12 starts this term, has now been exiled from the senior side. After telling Parisians that he will not be penning a new deal, Rabiot left their winter training camp early and has since been forced to train with the reserves. Unsurprisingly, Thiago Silva added fuel to the fire, stating that letting the 23-year-old go wouldn't be a bad idea for PSG, and they now need to build their midfield without Rabiot. Liverpool, Spurs and Arsenal have all reportedly been interested in the 4-times Ligue 1 champion, but it's Barcelona who are willing to pay the £5 million fee PSG are asking for. Whether or not a deal will be completed before the end of January, or whether he'll be left a free agent in the summer, it's pretty clear that life in the capital is over for Rabiot. Midfielder, Isco. Still only 26 years old, Spanish international and 4-time Champions League winner Isco has been part of the furniture at the Bernabeu since 2013. But following the arrival of Santiago Solari, Isco has been left out of favour, making just 5 starts in La Liga this term, and it looks like his career in Madrid is coming to an end. Rumours of arguments with the manager, Sergio Ramos and Marcelo have left Isco out in the cold, while the public hunting of Eriksen or Hazard has suggested that Real are already on the prowl for his replacement. Juventus have registered an interest in the Spaniard's signature. However, dealing with the European champions could prove difficult, considering a huge difference between Isco's value and Real's price. Currently worth just €45 million estimated by the CIES, Calcio Mercato are reporting that Real Madrid are hoping for somewhat in the region of €100 million for their want-away playmaker. While Sky Sports have reported that Isco's representatives have already been in talks with the old lady, a deal will take a lot of negotiation. Midfielder, Mesut Ozil. Mesut Ozil returned to the squad to watch Arsenal's 2-0 victory over Chelsea from the bench, following reports of training ground spats and some stints away from the first team with suspicious-sounding injuries and illnesses. The playmaker, who has just 1 assist in the league this term, has struggled to earn a place in Unai Emery's side, as his nonchalant creative style doesn't seem to mix with Emery's high-intensity game plan. But undoubtedly their most talented teammate, the Gunners can't afford to have the German rot on the bench. With Aaron Ramsey leaving the Emirates over contract complaints and their $350k a week man without a start in a month, it's clear that Arsenal need to do some rejigging behind the scenes. Cutting a less than happy figure in North London, respected journalist David Ornstein is reporting that Ozil is in fact keen to stay and fight for his place in the side. Surely wasting such money and such talent is too crippling for the Gunners, and either Emery needs to lever the German up his pecking order, or Arsenal need to find somewhere willing to fork out their star. Forward, Alexis Sanchez. From one outrageously paid talent to the next, Alexis Sanchez is currently earning around £390,000 a week at Old Trafford. Hardly value for money, Sanchez's move to the Theatre of Dreams has been nightmarish for both club and player, and so far this season the Chilean has managed just 5 starts and only 1 goal. While his teammate Paul Pogba has enjoyed a U-turn in form under Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Alexis is still struggling for minutes. Whether or not that's thanks to his injury struggles or manager's selection, it looks like the only way to end his plummeting trajectory is a one-way ticket out of England. Much like Arsenal and Ozil, United will struggle to offload the forward and his very hefty wages. Rarely given a chance in United's troublesome right wing, the training-obsessed workhorse Sanchez has only been happy when playing a leading role, and at 30, time is ticking for the ex-Barcelona man. Forward, Marko Arnautovic. Marko Arnautovic has proved he's putting cold hard cash ahead of his career prospects, after making it clear that he wants out of West Ham in favour of a $300k a week deal in China. Brother and agent Danielle has publicly stated the striker is looking for an exit out of the London stadium, as speculation forced Manuel Pellegrini to leave him out of his squad. According to the Standard, Shanghai SIPG made a £35 million bid for the 29-year-old, who's happy to see out the rest of his playing days in the CPL. However, 15 million shy of the Hammers' asking price, it looks like Arnautovic could be forced to stay in East London. While the Chinese transfer window doesn't shut until February, West Ham have stated that he will not be able to leave until the summer, when they have the time to find reinforcements up front, with Bournemouth's Callum Wilson and Celta Vigo's Maxi Gomez their summer targets. And if you've enjoyed this, why not head over to FDFC, where we've got squad goals, sevens and personal masterminds with your favourite football stars. As always guys, remember to subscribe to the channel and hit the bell next to it to be notified on every video we upload.